Talented Carolyn Hennessy, who
So
plays
lovely and
Diane
talented. Thank you,
on General
yes.
Hospital. So this
You just never get tired of hearing that.
now this is your first fan event, correct?
It's my first solo fan event, and I gotta hold the room. I gotta hold the room for an hour, and then I get to, go to all the tables. But I'm trying to think of.
I feel like that's not going to be a problem for you.
It probably won't be. I'm so excited though.
Good, that's great. Now, do you look forward, not more so, but is it easier and better for you to do the solo one-on-ones because you get more interaction, just you and the fans?
We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I think it probably will be, although, my first one was with Dirk Cheatwood, and he and I work so well together. I think we work so well together on screen, and we just have a blast off screen, just talking and chatting, and how'd you get into the business, and that kind of thing. So that was a lot of fun, but I'm really looking forward to connecting with the fans, just on a one-on-one, and, hearing what they think about Max and Diane when Dirk's not in the room, so I can give them the real scoop.
Right. There you go. And so I hear you had an interesting flight in.
Yes, I did. On the first leg, LAX to Denver, I sat next to a woman who was extraordinarily well educated in the Bible.
Interesting.
Who has been studying it since she was 5 and has memorized it. Memorized Old and New Testament, and has basically told me everything that's going to happen, and I'm in big trouble.
Well,
I'm in big trouble. She is not in big trouble. She and her family, they are not in. They're going to be fine, but I and probably everyone I know is in big trouble. And then Denver to Boston, I had the great joy of sitting next to a young man named Ethan, and he is a freelance writer for the Boston Globe and the New York Times, and he's working on a wonderful book, a fantasy book, but he's also a freelance book reviewer. And so naturally, of course, I handed him my card and said, I have a book series that you will be reviewing.
Great. And why don't you tell us about that book series?
The Pandora Mythic Misadventures series. The first book, Pandora Gets Jealous, has been out now for about 10 months. It's in its 3rd printing, doing very, very well. And the second book, Pandora Gets Vain, has just come out. It's been out for about 6 weeks. Again, if you go on barnesandnoble.com or if you go on amazon.com, the reviews are just, the consumer reviews are just stellar. And it really does my heart good. And when I get emails from young girls, young boys, and their mothers or their aunts or their fathers or their teachers or librarians who really love the series, I can't tell you how gratifying it is.
Yeah. What was your motivation in writing the books? And
the driving force
behind
the books. It was a really, really interesting catalyst. I was in a writing workshop, and I'd been in this writing workshop for maybe 2 years. And I hadn't really done anything. I was kind of noodling around. I was very much a dilettante in the class. But I was, at the time, working on a series of very short stories about misunderstood women in fiction. Kind of like, the inspiration for that was Wicked, which tells the story of the Wicked Witch of the West from her point of view, and why she wasn't bad, what she was working toward, how she was sort of politically active, and really kind of got a raw deal from L. Frank Baum. So one of the subjects for my short stories was Pandora, because I thought, well, really no one that I know was actually there. So what if Pandora wasn't a full-grown woman who was given all these attributes in this box of evil? What if she was just a 13-year-old girl with all of the wonderful attributes of a 13-year-old girl and all of the angst and desperateness or desperation and, the world is against me, kind of thought process of a 13-year-old girl. So I thought, well, what if that was Pandora? And I read a chapter. I just read a very brief, this 5-page story, and a gentleman was sitting in class. He was just sort of monitoring the class, and he said, "That's not a short story. That is a novel for young girls." No, wait, no, it's 3. No, wait, it's 7. Write synopses for all of them, then write 1,000 words a day. In 6 weeks, you'll have your first novel. Go. And I went.
Wow.
And so that was really the inspiration. And he said it's going to be life-changing. It's going to be life-changing for you. It's going to set you on not a whole new path, but an adjunct path to, with acting. And it's going to be life-changing for you. And darn if it isn't.
And there's 3 books published and 1 coming, right?
We've got 2 books that are out there. Book 1, Pandora Gets Jealous, has been out for about 10 months. Book 2, Pandora Gets Vain, is out on the shelves for about 6 weeks now, and we just got the uncorrected advanced proof for Pandora Gets Lazy. And I'm at home when I'm not in Boston. I'm working on book 4, yet to be titled.
Wow. So you're an artist, an author, and I know you've done circus trapeze work,
Trapeze
correct?
work, yes, yes.
Wow.
I've flown on a trapeze.
Renaissance woman.
A Renaissance woman.
Now, have you gotten a chance to see Boston while you were here?
I did. I got up very early and I went to Bradford's event and popped in and said hello to everybody. And then I was on a walking tour, and I went down to the harbor, and I saw Boston Common, and I saw the duck pond or some. I haven't seen the swan boats. I want to see the swan boats, and I was able to actually go up into the old customs house and walk around the observation deck. And so I had a 360-degree view of Boston. Just beautiful. Saw the Old North Church, which is probably on this trip about as close as I will get to it. And had chowder. I had chowder. I had crab cakes and fried clams and fried calamari and chowder. Clam chowder, and then I had some shrimp and corn chowder. Yes,
wow.
I had all of that.
Well, at least you didn't eat a lot
I had all
today.
of that. That's my meal for the day, and just so good.
Perfect.
So good. Beautiful cobblestone streets. I walked a bit on the Freedom Path, and would love to spend some more time in Boston. It's such a gorgeous city. I want to live on Beacon Hill.
Very nice. Now, do you have a message you want to say to the fans who couldn't be here or don't live on the East Coast?
Oh, I'll see you on the West Coast. It's it's sooner or later. I'll see all of you. Absolutely.
All right. Why don't we head downstairs for your first solo fan event?
Now?
Right now. Right this second.
Okay.
Give her a big hand and welcome her up.
This is so much fun. we're the diehards. We're the tweeters. Die Hard. Die Hard for Diane. Interesting. And you know what? I don't even think I'm going to need to use the microphone. I don't think I will. Now, I'm not Sebastian Roche. And I don't look as good with my shirt off. I just don't. Huh?
I said it depends on who you
It depends on who you ask. Exactly. My husband would probably. I hope my husband. I hope my husband has never seen Sebastian Roche without a shirt on. So hi guys. So hi. Jerry, I just want you to see something.
Yeah,
I just want you to see something.
I noticed that.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have worn this. I wore this. My dear Shelley gave me this. And I wore this into an audition. I wore it like several auditions the other day.
Oh, let's hope it brings you luck.
Okay. Hey, Guza. Hey, look what I'm wearing. Hey. So, hi guys. Okay, so who's been here who's been here all day? Get out. Okay, so you know that I've eaten chowder. Yeah. Yes. I walked around. I walked up Boston Common. I haven't seen the swan boats, but I want to see the swan boats, and I've decided I'm going to live here. Excellent. So there you go.
On Beacon Hill.
On Beacon Hill. On Beacon Hill. I'm going to live on Beacon Hill. Something with cobblestones in front. That's what I'm going to do. So.
Not with those boots.
Not with these. Not with those boots. Exactly. No. In fact, I brought these actually just to sort of have some high heels at the event, but my cowboy boots. I think I'm going to walk around in my cowboy boots. So who's got questions? Who wants to know what? What's going on? What's anything? Say, huh? How are Max's abs? Well, Diane. Diane thinks that they are pretty much, yeah, exactly. It's a 13, 14 pack. Yeah, exactly. Dirk is he's just amazing. He's such a teddy bear. He's such a phenomenal, wonderful teddy bear. And he's so handsome in person, but he's just sort of big and cuddly, But he's Sonny's bodyguard, so of course he's going to have to be kind of, big and built. But I like to think that what Diane has scene of Max is right there. Apparently, Dirk tells a story about our first kiss. Have you guys heard this story?
Yes.
No.
Well, he's this is what I've heard. Yeah, okay, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. That he was trying to calm me down or something like that, and that I wore cinnamon flavored lip gloss. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I would never wear cinnamon flavored lip gloss. I think it would burn my lips for one thing. And what I did say to him was, I said, if you're not careful, I will eat Swiss cheese. I will eat Swiss cheese before I, it's like if you're not, or camembert or blue cheese or something like that. You know, it's like, take care of me or I will eat Swiss cheese before I kiss you. So there was no cinnamon lip gloss. What I do remember is him sweating profusely. And I kept going, hey, we're gonna have fun. And this was the big, this was after the drunk scene, in the Metro Court, after he and I just got completely toasted and we were having our own conversations, right? And then we'd go up and do the whole Mrs. Robinson kind of thing, which, by the way, was my idea. Yeah, it was my idea. I said, you're going to have a slightly older woman and a slightly younger man, and in this hotel room, I said, you gotta have a shot under the leg. I said, you got to do it like Anne Bancroft and Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate. And fortunately, yes, get it, shot it. Hello, Boston. Very classy. And oh well, there I go. But anyway, so and they did. They shot it. They shot it under the leg, which was really fun. But I do remember for that first big kissing scene with Dirk and I kissing. He was very, very nervous. Carrie, your wife will understand. Carrie will understand. And I was going, high five. He kept going, high five, high five. It's like, yes, high five, high five, high five. So that's Max's abs. I think they're pretty great. Dirk, well, you know who's really got the body is Dirk's brother, Drew. It's wild. It's just crazy. And he trains Steve. I think he trains Steve. I think he trains Greg. It's just like, look at him going, oh, I'm married. He's lovely. He's beautiful. So there you go. Okay. Diane has been allowed to become my own creation. Everything else, when you do a guest star appearance, you walk into the casting office, you deliver the goods, and there are like maybe 20 other girls vying for your role, but if they like the color you're selling that day, they're going to cast you. But they don't want anything to change between your audition. They want you to be directable, but they don't want anything to change between your audition and, right, because they don't have time. They don't have time to work on, for a guest star. So you go in and they pretty much know the kind of goods you're going to deliver. With Diane, Diane didn't start out to be the way Diane is now. She was straight-laced, deliver the information, deliver the goods, get out. And now, having been on, coming up, we're at like a year and 9 months, Diane has become, I think, the most favorite character, first of all, that I think is on TV. And I think probably the favorite thing I've ever done, because I've really worked it, and it's my own. She's my own. She's very much like me, or can be. There are aspects of her that are like me, I hope. And she gets to tell everybody off. She gets to say what everybody is thinking. She gets to say what everyone's thinking, and is screaming at the television, but can't say. And I get to do it. And the humor that the Fifth Floor, the producers, have allowed me to infuse in Diane, and have allowed me to express with Alexis, with Max, with Sonny. I was watching something the other day where I said, if you could just for a moment pull your head out of your, and Sonny's going, yeah. And Maurice doesn't get to do that a lot. like self-infused fog or whatever it was. That's fun. That's just tremendous fun.